So, audience, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I do live deeper in New Jersey now. So, sometimes we go through what do you call it? Dead, dead periods where everybody loses reception. I don't know why, but that's just what happened. So, forgive me. I don't know why it just did that in the middle. It's still something I'm working on for. I don't know why the hell it did that. So, back to what I was saying. What is the legal definition of defamation? Defamation, as I have explained, I got to make sure all my settings are right again because I got kicked offline, people. I do not know why. This is kind of annoying from time to time, but it's whatever. Yep, I was right. It did. I'm gonna make the time today to do this because this is kind of annoying. It really is. Okay, back to what I was saying. So let's go back. So I've explained what defamation means. So based off that legal definition and the requirements to prove an actionable offense for defamation, how can people not say that the things that I'm saying? First, let's start with my ex-girlfriend. If she created a movement to convince the public falsely that I had domestically abused her through the use of social media, which is written Facebook posts, and actually giving speeches and lobbying against me in public, then by the statutory definition, as it relates to New York State, my ex Francina Evans is liable for defamation. She sought to destroy my friendly relationships in society by lying and accusing me of domestic violence. Once physical domestic violence didn't work due to the recording I played, she started accusing me of coercive control by trying to claim that this dog she claimed I gave her for Christmas, I was using to coerce her into a relationship to stay with me. The saddest part about that, people, is that I actually had direct evidence that that was a lie. See, people, Christmas, of course, is in the month of December. Now, my ex and I broke up in the month of December of 2021. Um, the dog that she talks about was actually purchased in May of 2021. So the average person with any kind of sense would realize that Christmas is 3 months. Well, I'm sorry. I bought this dog in May. So I've never heard a situation where a man would buy a woman, his girlfriend, his wife, his kids, a dog, and give it to them 7 months later for Christmas. Usually, when people buy pets for their loved ones, something nice to surprise the kid, your girl, you get it for her birthday or Christmas. You don't get it 7 months before and then give it to her for Christmas. So that was the first major roadblock that people who were actually truthful and unbiased advocates should have looked at. How did he give her something that he bought in May? But nobody looked at that because they just wanted to support my ex. The next thing is, people, is that I had direct evidence, undeniable evidence that in March of 2022, which is 3 months after Christmas, people, this woman contacted me and directly told me that if I did not surrender shares of a legal business that I created, which we both owned and owned 50% of, then she would not return my dog. Now, people, why is that so significant? Because in that statement, my ex committed what is known as criminal coercion. Criminal coercion is when you try to force, like, you know what? Let's go back, people. Again, I'm a visual man nowadays. I like to show people what it means. So let's go back. First, we're going to go to, you know what? I'm going to take you out of LexisNexis again because, again, I like to educate my audience, people. And I like you to see what things really are. I don't want you to hear me say them because if I sometimes I speak fast. I might say a word or two wrong because I'm speaking so fast. But I want you to know. So, what is criminal coercion in New York State? If someone stole property from another and then tried to use the stolen property of that party to force them to comply with something against their will, would that be criminal coercion? So let's see, people. Now I need to share the screen first so everyone can see it when I'm done. So hold on. Not presentations, not a presentation. X out. I believe it's a screen share. Yes, it is. Share. Because yeah, people, it's about educating you. It's not about lying to you. It's not about doing anything like that. So, as our definition is, okay. So, I hope everyone can see my screen. But if you can't, I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay. So we're gonna blow up the screen a little bit. Saturday morning, people. Why not learn a little bit something on Saturday morning? Life is short. Take every day you can to learn new things. So, criminal coercion in New York State is defined under Statute 160, coercion in the third degree. A person is guilty of coercion in the second degree when they compel or induce another person to engage in conduct that the latter has a legal right to abstain from, or to abstain from conduct that they have a legal right to engage in by instilling fear or certain consequences. These consequences include causing physical injury, damaging property, engaging in criminal conduct, or exposing secrets, among other things. That's the legal definition of criminal coercion. If someone stole property from another and then used the stolen property to force the victim to comply with something against their will, this could constitute criminal coercion. Specifically, withholding stolen property and threatening not to return it unless the victim complies with a demand can be considered coercion under 13560, coercion in the third degree, which includes threats to damage property or deprive the owner of its use. For example, in the People versus Graves 12 miscellaneous third district 16, oh God, I forgot that part. The court found that withholding a stolen cell phone and demanding payment for its return could constitute coercion, as it involved a threat to deprive the owner of property's economic value. Additionally, coercion and extortion are closely related crimes in New York State. Extortion involves compelling someone to deliver property through threats, while coercion involves compelling someone to act or refrain from acting through similar threats. Both crimes share overlapping elements such as instilling fear or harm of the property or property damage. People versus Feldman. Therefore, using stolen property to force compliance could also intersect with extortion laws depending on the circumstances. So, people, that is the definition of criminal coercion in New York State. So here we go. I lay before you a scenario. If my ex-girlfriend stole my property that I paid for in an attempt to keep me in the relationship, and then when she realized that didn't work, she tried to use the property that she stole, that I had been trying to get back the entire time, to force me into a position that I would unwillingly sign over the remainder of the shares of the business she and I owned. By statutory definition, people, that's criminal coercion in New York State. But Francina Evans was never charged, people. Actually, the Staten Island District Attorney's Office dismissed her case. People, it's sick what they did to me. As a matter of fact, people, again, remember what I told you. I'm a visual brother now. I'm going to show you the text messages. Because what happened to me, again, people, was horrible. And I cannot believe that a community such as Staten Island pretends that it is righteous when what happened to me has never been addressed. But we're going to address it, people, because I'm not the one or the two. And I'm not going to let these people get away with what they did to me. Did I share it? Thought I shared it. Thought I shared it. Didn't I share it? I didn't share it, people. Oh, crap. Hold on. Thought I did. My bad. Play screen sharing. There we go. Gotcha. Learning the app still, people. Sorry. Ha! So I hope everybody sees what's on my screen. Do you? It doesn't look like it. What the hell, people? Shoot. It's going to come up. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. I don't know why the hell it's doing that. Why is it not showing? What are you doing, people? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you not showing the screen? Okay, we're going to stop the screen sharing, and then we're going to just do it again. Sometimes it's like that, people. We have what's called glitches. Ha, there we go. Let's see if you're on screen. Yes, you are. Perfect. Now, we're going to blow this up so everyone can see it. Now, I just read of what coercion is. My ex claims that I gave her this dog and one. As you can see before you, these are text messages from March 4th, 2022, which is exactly 3 months. The blue is myself. The gray is my ex-girlfriend. Cinnabon is the pet name I used to give her because when I met her, She used to make these healthy things that were like Cinnabons, but they were called Cinnabons. And in the sweetness of love and wanting to be with someone at one point in she was my Cinnabon. Horrible mistake. That bitch is sour and rotten to her core. Anyway, so as you can see, this is what I see. This tap to download thing was a picture of the dog. Because people, I was doing it just to get my own dog back and leave this woman the hell alone. I had even bought her a dog. So this has gotten bad. Can we please peacefully handle Shorty? Shorty was the dog's name, and just amicably go our separate ways. She says, are you gonna surrender my company? You gonna reimburse me, as Shorty got shit to do with that. Now, people, the only thing I wanted her to do was give me back the startup course. If you want me to surrender shares of the company that I paid for and that I've worked to create, then pay the startup cost and let me do something legitimate for my mom, which was my intent, because I wanted no money from this business. She was literally supposed to only donate 10% to my dead mother. That's how grimy this woman is and how little she loved me and how little she actually loved my mother, Reverend Howard, even though she lies and tells everyone my mother was her mentor just so she can shit on me and harass me. Speaking of that, I just want my name. So she says, I said, are you going to reimburse me? As Shorty got nothing to do with that. She says, speaking of that, meaning speaking of the dog. And I told her I didn't want anything to do with her, people. I just wanted my name off the business. So let's see the next text. Now, I told her I just wanted my name off the business, as you can see. And you can see that her next response is that I never reimbursed her for diapers or pads since she's mine. She was the dog. I don't want no money. Just give me the dog. And we clear. Are you going to surrender my company? You can set up repayment. And yes, I'll do it. Actually, exactly. You're the number one stun. I will bill you my costs and then show them to you. This combo is done. So see, people, this is the truth. This is the truth of Francina Evans. Why did you do that? Why you do that? X out of the screen so I can have people see me. Remove. This is the truth behind what happened with me. My ex-girlfriend tried to use the dog that she stole from me to force me to sign over the shares of the business she and I owned, which is criminal coercion. Now, with law enforcement on Staten Island, because I did report this to the police on May 4th, 2022, people, I had no choice. Remember, the detective called me and told me to report it. So I did. If the detective squad of the 123 precinct and the Staten Island District Attorney's Office had not conspired to suppress that complaint and had charged Francina, I wouldn't have went through the next 4 years of my life. How crazy is that, people? And she wouldn't have went to jail, people. They would have gave her probation or some shit. It would have been over, people. She might not even got charged, because the truth is, when I went to the police, and this is documented, I told the police I didn't want her arrested. I just wanted the dog back. I didn't want to harm her. I didn't want to hurt her. I wasn't trying to impose myself or get next to her. I didn't want to see her. I just wanted her to give the dog back and go on with her life, people. But she couldn't do that. She had to keep coming after me. So a statutory definition of coercion, I can compare. It happened, and I reported it. She should, but these things compiled together, people, is why it became so horrible, and why before I became a lot more disciplined and intelligent, I would say so aggressively advocating for my freedom. Back to the purpose of this conversation. So Stephanie Pendergrass is one of the people who contacted me and allegedly supported me. She was going to help me and all of this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. But it didn't materialize, people. At some point, Stephanie Pendergrass simply went ghost on me. I tried to contact her. She wouldn't respond. I'm like, oh, crap, what happened with this? And then, people, I saw some stuff that I kind of knew happened. And I believe strongly that she began to side with my ex. She can do whatever she wants to. And again, this didn't happen a week, 6 months ago, people. This was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Nothing's happened of it. I haven't taken it personally. It bothered me a little bit, but people, I moved on with my life. That was it. So in responding to her post, I didn't attack her about that. I just said, make sure people are telling the truth, because I personally I know for a fact that she played me. This woman gets offended. She starts saying what she's saying, whatever it is, and I'm pretty much blowing it off. And people, she keeps going. So she threatens me with civil action for defamation, which, as you can see, me expressing something that I know to happen is not defamation. Nor did I publicly even state to her what I was thinking in my post. So what was this crazy heifer talking about? I'm like, lady, leave me the hell alone. She keeps going. So you know me, people, I ain't no sucker. I said, you know something, lady? You talking about civil litigation and defamation. You talking to the right black man. Let me tell you something, you dumbass. If you want to fuck with somebody with a lawsuit, I'm the one and the two for you. You can file a lawsuit against me, and then I'm gonna sue you for malicious prosecution because I know the statutory definition of what defamation is or slander. And clearly you don't. I don't care if you think you're intelligent. I'm a retired teacher. You know what they say about teachers, people? Those who can't do, teach. So I don't give a fuck about you being no teacher for New York City. That don't mean nothing. You wasn't an Oxford professor or a professor from Harvard. You taught school in wherever capacity you taught in the state of New York. You weren't some acclaimed college professor or some legal authority or some educational authority with regard to a subject. So the fact that you were a teacher means nothing to me. Um, and people, I told her that, like, lady, I don't care neither. So whatever happens, blah blah blah. I said, chick, listen, I'm a 1 to 2. You got a problem, you can hit me, and I'm gonna handle you. Go ahead, you try to sue me for defamation, and I'm gonna bankrupt you with a malicious prosecution claim. So people, maybe she realized that because she decided to block me. Whatever, people. I thought it was over. No problem. I'm at dinner last night. And I'm minding my business, people. I'm at dinner with this woman. We talking, we vibing out. You know, I hadn't seen her in a while. She flew into town, so we just kicking it. No sexual relationship type shit. I just missed her. We was kicking it. I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize. And I'm like, who the hell is this? So I'm looking at the number and she's watching my face, this woman I know. And she's like, yo, Clay, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just don't know who this number is. And she says, well, answer it. I said, I don't want to answer it because it might be some shit with my crazy ass ex. And I don't even answer numbers I don't know no more. She said, Clay, just answer the phone. So I answer the phone. This is proof that this number called me. So everyone knows I'm not lying. Everyone can see it. Probably not. There's a glare on the phone. And I don't want to show this woman's number directly. So, let me not do that because I don't want to say I'm showing her number online. She crazy as hell already. But anyway, she calls me. So people answer the phone and I'm like, hello? And she's like, Clayton. And I didn't know who it was, people. I said, who's this? She said, Stephanie. So the fuck is Stephanie? Because people, why? I don't know no Stephanie to be calling me. The only Stephanie I know is my homeboy Job's girl. So I'm like, Stephanie. And the first thing I'm thinking about is my bro Job because he just had, what the hell do you call it? What do you call it? Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell you call that thing? The thing that they take out for kids. God forgive me, people. Oh, well, Job just had surgery. Fuck it. I don't even think about that. So I'm thinking something happened to my bro Job. I'm like, oh, yo. And then I said, wait a minute. Who is this again? Stephanie Pendergrass. And I said, the Facebook chick? And she said, yeah, I got your number. Don't worry about it. I said, whoa, what the fuck are you calling me for? Why are you calling me? Because I just want to talk to you and get something straight. I said, so I'm thinking to myself, lady, if we both agreed not to speak to each other, why are you calling me? You should not be calling me if I haven't requested you call me. So she starts trying to go into this that she doesn't like that I called her fake and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, lady, I don't care if you like it. I spoke from what my experience was with you. My experience was with you is that you're fake and you're a liar. And I don't deal with you. So even though that I felt that way about you, I didn't diminish your event. I just simply said, make sure that the people you choose are telling the truth, which is the truth. It's not a bad thing to say. It's actually something that's valid. She starts going ballistic. So I'm listening to this chick on the phone and she's talking wild tough. People, I just hung up the phone on her. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time for all that shit, lady. You're not going to call me talking tough on the phone. So as soon as I flip the script on you, you run your white ass to the cops and try to lie and say you're being threatened and harassed by a black man. Because that's all she was trying to do, people. I saw that trap. Remember, I'm a victim of Francina Evans. This happened to me. So people, I saw that trap. I banged on her. Boom. Fuck out of here, lady. Anyway. So she was like, yo, the girl I'm with is like, what's that about? I said, yo, this crazy bitch done researched my number to call me because she's mad I called her fake in the Facebook post. The first thing this girl says to me is, Clay, that's harassment. You should go to the cops. I said, no, it's not that deep. She's some crazy ass older white lady. I ain't got time for that shit. So I go about my business. Your people. About 5 minutes later, this lady Stephanie calls back. I look at the phone. I'm like, what the? Why is she? The girl says, yo, go to the police. She's harassing you. I said, nah, man. Like, I ain't got time for that shit, bro. I've been with police too much, and I ain't got time for this shit, people. The fact that she called me is enough proof to prove that she's harassing me. I ain't calling her. So I said, yo, whatever the fuck it is, I ain't got it. But she's like, yo, Clay, I'm telling you, like, she gonna keep calling you. You don't know her. Chick is crazy. I've been through shit like that. You've been through stuff like that. You better address it before it address you. And I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll think about it later. I'll do it tomorrow. What you want me to do? Stop right now in the middle of dinner and go to the local precinct? I said, she's not worth my energy. I'm gonna sit here and eat. Yo, people. About 3 minutes later, I get a text message that's so long that I got an iPhone 14 here, people. You see the screen size of my screen. People, the entire screen was one message that I had to scroll through 2 complete screens to see the one message she sent me. And people, it was fucking crazy, bro. Matter of fact, it was so crazy that when I read this message, I said, yo, this chick is psycho, bro. So I hung up the phone on her, right? And she texts me, I don't, your ex is. Lie, people. She and I spoke about this. Her name out your mouth. I don't care if you're school. I asked to sit down and talk. People, she never asked me to sit down and talk. She called me and started the phone on her. If she had said, hey, listen, can we talk like adults? I would have talked to her, people, because I was trying to be reasonable with her. She's just a fucking idiot. So you resort to but child fake. I know nothing about your situation, and I stay away from my family. I will tell you, get your facts straight. I involved in other people's business. I don't care you Perkins or not. Do not contact me. Nothing. Hanging up shows you are who you are. Anyone can go back and forth, but I asked to nicely to meet up, and I called. Now you stated I sided with your ex. When I know nothing of your situation, stay in your lane and I'll stay in mine. Now, people, listen to that message. I'm gonna read it again for you. I don't know who your ex is or what happened to you. Keep my name out your mouth. I don't care if you're in any school. I asked to sit down and talk. Remember, okay. She asked to sit down and talk. Remember that point. You resorted to behavior that is nothing like but childlike. People, I hung up on her because she was acting stupid. Remember that point. Fake, I know nothing about your situation and I don't care. Stay away from me. Now, people, she's telling me to stay away from her, but I haven't called her. I've hung up on her and she's calling me back numerous times and contacting me, but she's telling me to stay away from her. Stay away from my family. I don't know who this crazy white bitch family is. People, I don't know her. I haven't called her. She's calling me. She's contacting me. But this is what she's saying. So, people, when I see the family part, I see the lineup. I said, oh, this chick is trying to bait me to an argument so she can run her lying white ass to the cops and lie to those racist police on Staten Island. People, I immediately see the play in this one. I will tell you, get your facts straight. I don't get involved in people's business. I don't care. Nothing hanging up shows who you are. Anyone can go back and forth, but I asked nicely to meet up. Now, people, she told me to stay away from her, to stay away from her family, but she's asking me to meet up. You crazy bitch, what are you talking about? Why are you asking me to meet up? But then in the same conversation, you're saying to stay away from you and your family. I don't even know who your family is, you crazy asshole. Leave me alone. So, people, I read this text message and I said, yo, you about to get disrespected. You better step the fuck off. You get one warning. You crazy bitch, leave me alone. That's it, people. That's all I said to her. So now, people, I put my phone down. Yo, people, 15 minutes later, Stephanie Pendergrass calls me back again. People, if I'm lying, I'm flying, people. The lady kept calling me. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Hold on. I want to show her number. No, I can't show her number because then she's going to try to say that I'm exposing her personal information. People, this lady kept calling me back. And all I could think to myself seeing this is, why is this lady so mad? And people, didn't take me long to figure out why she was mad. She was mad because she knew that what I was saying exposed her to be a fake ass bitch and no real victim advocate. That's why she was mad. Because, see, people, I'm telling the truth in the fact that I was the victim against Francina Evans, and dozens of people betrayed me, trying to side with Francina for various reasons: women's solidarity, sexual intentions, or simply just the fact that they hated my guts. They sided with her. So, people, if I know for a fact that you did this to me or you did something, even if you didn't do something directly, if I know your actions were something that supported someone who was trying to harm me, I have the right to think you're fake and never want to talk to you again. And that's simply all I expressed to Stephanie Pendergrass. And it's a real shame that she, being such a weak, pathetic, small minded, childish, broken woman, would come after me and continue to harass me because, people, that's the word. Harassment is unwanted contact from an individual who doesn't want to talk to you. If Stephanie Pendergrass initiated a conversation with me and then she and I stopped talking, both agreeing that we didn't want to talk to each other. But in contradiction to that, Stephanie decides to call me by researching my number and call me out the blue and decides to call me and start trying to initiate contact with me to negatively start the situation up. By statutory definition, people, and you, as you can see, I like using the term statutory definition. That's harassment in New York State. Harassment is unwanted contact. People, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go to the police on this woman and file harassment charges? People, I ain't got time for that shit. I don't want to go file harassment charges on this chick. I just want her to leave me alone. But, people, I need to be mindful of the truth of the situation, which is that insane and just unethical people who do not value what the true purpose of law enforcement is, which is to protect victims, use law enforcement as tools to get revenge on people. So I have to be mindful of the fact that this crazy ass 70-something-year-old white woman with no life, clearly, is calling me late into the night to try to talk to me and meet up with me, despite the fact I'm telling her I don't want to talk to her and I don't want to meet up with her. People, I can do that. I'm a grown man. I've had plenty of women contact me wanting to see me, and I just ignore them. The best thing that I've always been good at, and even my late mother told me this, is ghosting people. I will totally ghost you and pretend like you don't exist. Um, Life teaches you that people don't like that. People don't like to be disregarded, especially if they feel that they're better than you. They feel like, who the fuck are you to look down on me and snub me? This is what happened with my ex, Francina Evans. She thought she was too pretty to be dumped, so she had to destroy any chance that people might believe that I dumped her. How did she do that? By creating a false narrative, both written and vocally, to destroy my social friend, what was the term they used? My social credibility, or my ability to interact with other people. People, that's wrong. Nobody deserves for somebody to go around lying on you just so nobody believes the truth of your situation that happened. And the people who know this happens to an innocent person, if you claim to be an advocate and a good person, you have a mandatory obligation to help that person who's the actual victim clear their name. People, why have the advocates of Staten Island decided to abandon Clayton Howard? Why have they betrayed Reverend Maggie Howard when all of them went to Reverend Howard when they needed connections and help, etc., etc.? I'm gonna tell you why, people. Because these people like Ronti, Malcolm Penn, Bobby Digi, Victor Brown, Debbie Rose, Camilla Hanks, Charles Fall, Mike McMahon, they are fake ass clowns, people. They are completely manipulative, unethical, self-serving people. They are not truly for the communities that they are advocating for. They're aggrandizing themselves in their own position for power. And that's the truth, people. So I speak the truth. I'm the advocate that was created by the injustice of Staten Island. Clayton Howard had no purpose in speaking about social rights or even advocating for a not-for-profit or charitable purposes, people. My mother told me for probably the last 10 or 15 years that my destiny was to run some charity that she had visualized that God gave her in a dream called Sons of Thunder. And it sounded corny to me, people. I was like, I'm not repping no shit like that. That shit sound corny. I'm not doing that. And she's like, Clayton, no, you and your brother-in-law, because y'all strong men, y'all got stories, blah, blah, blah. And she would tell me this, people, and I'd be like, Mom, you tripping. I'm not doing that. People, how right this woman was. How right she was that God would put me in a position, people, where I would actually be horribly civilly violated. So I would actually gain a truthful basis and an interior passion to advocate for victim rights. People, my mother's connections on Staten Island had to betray me. Because, see, as a man who wants to establish himself, the one thing you need to do is separate yourself from your parents. People cannot think of you and think of your parents and you be your own man. So, people, if I had not been portrayed, and before I began to actively build this charity, I would have reached out to people like Victor, Terry Troy, and B. Rose to support my mother's initiative. But fake people, we ain't about no fake support. So these people had to betray me by Staten Island, so I would know when my time come who it was I was destined to deal with and meant to deal with. That was my mother showing beyond Clayton. Nah, these people is fake, baby. So she allowed me to go through everything I went for the last 3 years. So systematically, the people who I thought would help me support her initiative on Staten Island can be exposed and show me the simple truth of the situation of Operation Rock and the dream of my late mother, Reverend Howard. And that is that it's up to me. Because as a child of this woman, no one is going to love her or want to remember her more than me, who actually cared about her and cared about the loss that I initiated. Um, I spent most of the time with my late mother, people. I'm not saying my sister didn't love her mother, but she loved her husband more than she loved her mother. That's a fact. But my sister shitted on her mother, her entire relationship between with her husband. My sister shitted on her husband. That's a fact. I don't say that to diminish her. I don't say that to insult her. I say it because it's the truth, people. She shitted on my mother for my mother's funeral, people. God, she ruined my mother's funeral with the drama she created, bro. And this man she claimed she loved so much had a baby on her 9 months later. And I found that to be incredible, people. Because how do you betray your family and betray your mother to the extent that you literally aggravate her into a stasis of death, and then advocate for the same man who you was cursing your mother out the day she died for, only for him to not love you enough to keep his dick in his pants for 9 months? And honestly, yo, I'm not saying that to make fun of her, because I've always respected my sister's loyalty to her husband. Like he was in jail more than half their relationships. Dude was in and out of jail. His daughter was raised, and I don't think she really had him in her life consistently, excuse me, until she was 13 to 14 years old, with respect to her. She was a good kid. She needed her dad. Probably with her dad around, her mother wouldn't have been so fucking crazy to her. But he was always in jail. So my sister supported him, and she deserved his loyalty, especially when she lost her mother. Because me and my sister don't get along, but I'm pretty sure she was affected by the death of her mother. I didn't allow myself to go near her because I know my sister is a lying, fake ass bitch. She has always been fake. I have no time for her, people. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to get into a situation with her where I have to be disrespectful. So I'd rather stay the fuck away from her. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, people. That's always been my motto. And I've learned that it's okay to not like people, even if they are related to you. It's okay not to have a relationship with somebody that's related to you, because family is not only about blood. Family is about the people that love you and support you unconditionally. Somebody can have your blood, and just because they have your blood, don't mean they really love you and support you. They might be jealous of you because you've been in the position they wanted to be in their whole life, or you received the attention that they wanted to receive their whole life. Um, and I really think that's what happened with me and my sister. I think my sister was always jealous of the fact that I was closer to my mother than her. I swear I do. Because my sister has done horrible things to me and my mother. I'll be honest. Not saying I was perfect. I was not a perfect child. And that's what makes me so truthful and genuine, people. I can admit that. I can admit in my immaturity that I could have definitely been better for my mama. But it's too late for that, people. I can't beat myself up about it. I have to become a man. I have to become what she knows that I was. And I have to be the best person I can. And that's all I choose to be, people. And in choosing to be that, I have taken a serious initiative in this charity to do what needs to be done. And that is to advocate for the rights of true victims and the people who are horribly violated when they are lied on and portrayed by members of law enforcement who, instead of doing their ethical, who instead of, I want to say, adhering to their ethical responsibilities, decide, fuck that. He's a nigga. He's black. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I don't care what paper he has. I'm not gonna acknowledge it. That's not right, people. Victimhood is not established by the victim. Victimhood is actually established by the offender who makes the decision to victimize the victim. Nobody chooses to be a victim. Nobody asks someone to lie on them. I damn sure didn't ask this girl to go through multiple states and file false police reports on me. I would have preferred she didn't, people. When I won that order of protection, people, I gave her a play. I contacted the New Jersey prosecutor's office and New York and told them not to arrest her. People, she's the one who went after me. She filed police reports. She lied to numerous states. She continued to pursue me, trying to get some type of leverage that she could use to continue to support herself as a false domestic violence victim. And people, that caused me to be maliciously prosecuted in 3 or 4 separate counties and receive no justice, because the truth is that law enforcement on its most basic level, meaning the police and local prosecutors, are cooperatively racist and discriminatory. They choose the victims that they want to help, and they make offenders out of victims who may possibly have legality and allegations against them. This is what was done to me, and this is truthfully what was done to me, that I can substantiate between by transcript, by text message, by emails, and by privately recorded conversations where I exercised my legal right to produce one-party recordings and document conversations with my defendants where they lied to me, falsified information, and withheld information, or simply or threatened me, because I was threatened also, people. Yes, I do have audio of that. People, the fight for justice is one that will make you into an entirely different person. And you got to be ready for that, people. You have to be ready to transition into what you will become once you realize your mission. I'm ready for that journey. So, on behalf of Operation Rock and my late mother, because I can hear my daughter, she just woke up, I have to go. Got to feed the kid, got to get her Cheerios, go to the park today, do some nice stuff. It's supposed to be nice, people. Enjoy the day. People, defamation is a serious offense. And if you cannot prove the things you say against someone and the claims that you're going to make, you should keep your mouth shut. But even if you do defame someone, you can possibly fix your situation by having the sheer respect, the sheer integrity to apologize to someone you have wronged. If you don't have the ability to apologize to someone who wronged you, then you're not a good person. People, Victor Allen Brown wronged me. He wronged my mother in conjunction with Francina Evans and many of the people I met. I'm speaking of Victor Allen Brown when I say that Victor Allen Brown was a friend of my mother for well over 20 years. And he allowed a lie to be produced about her he knew was not true. He owed her that much of an apology. And he owed me something that was later proven to be a lie. Because Victor Allen Brown allowed Francina Evans to use Mount Sinai Church in the Arms of Hope Domestic Violence Center as a platform to defame me, they have now become liable for defamation pursuant to New York state law. Anybody who's listening to the words I'm saying now and has been watching my broadcast, you know, if Francina made false statements in that or on behalf of that domestic violence center, bring a T-shirt to represent the church. And guess what? She is wearing a T-shirt. All had to do was apologize, people. All they had to do was apologize to people. Why could this alleged man of God not humble himself to apologize to me? That's what people should really want to know, is why I would sue a church. Why will the pastor not tell the truth about something that can be substantiated to be a lie? On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is Clayton. This is my story. And I'm going to continue to substantiate it. And eventually, people, I'm going to be out in the streets speaking against Victor Brown, the Staten Island DA, and just local law enforcement corruption as it affects victims of domestic violence and victims of anything. Because no victim has an enforcement system that was created to protect them. And I was totally betrayed. So on behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is Clayton signing off to go be a dad and make the kids some honey. Enjoy your day. Please, it's going to be 90 degrees, people. Remember what the law is. Understand the true definition of defamation. And when people begin to lie on you, you'll know exactly what to do. So on behalf